Welcome back to episode 2 of our journey through the Northwest. In the last episode, we packed up and hit the road to Augrabies Falls, where we took in the breathtaking waterfall and squeezed in a quick game drive, racing the clock to get back to our campsite before dark. Augrabies was a gem, and I really wish we had more time to explore it fully. If you missed the first episode, I'll link it up on top, so be sure to check it out. Now, as I mentioned last time, that mad rush was thanks to my poor planning. And guess what? This episode is no different. Today we leave Augrabies Falls bright and early, heading towards the stunning Namaqua National Park. Of course, getting lost along the way didn't help our situation at all. We'll be entering the park through the Succulent entrance and taking the famous Caracal 4x4 route to our campsite. And the next day, the adventure continues as we make our way to our secret location, where we'll set up camp before starting our trek back to Bloemfontein. We hit the road bright and early, setting off towards our next destination, Springbok, a town that any 4x4 enthusiast should be familiar with. Along the way, we made a quick pit stop at another famous spot, Poer, to stock up with some supplies before continuing on. As we drove through the heart of the Namaqua National biome, we were completely mesmerized by the landscape's striking, rugged beauty. The vastness of this region is something else. An endless expanse of open land, almost completely void of life. Out of nowhere, barren rocky mountains rise from the ground, their dry, rugged forms creating a dramatic contrast against the sky. What's even more incredible is the way the desert biome from Namibia bleeds off into this region. You can almost feel the desert's influence as the terrain subtly shifts. It's a reminder of how close we are to Namibia, and I can't help but feel a rush of excitement at the thought of crossing the border on a future adventure. This right here is why we do what we do. Overlanding is about more than just the destination. It's about exploring the unknown, experiencing these untamed landscapes firsthand, with nothing but us, our vehicle, and the open road ahead. So we were able to leave Augrabies this morning around 5:10, so we weren't too bad on time. Got the tent packed up, loaded up, and we were on our way. We just stopped at Poer now to get some coffee and some food. Really nice little place. We're now driving through what seems to be a Namibia-like landscape. I don't know, this looks completely different. I've never seen anything like this in my life. This is outstanding. Just have a look at this landscape, it's absolutely stunning. I think we actually have a bit of a sandstorm here ahead of us. The landscape quickly transformed yet again, revealing the Succulent Karoo biome. The rolling hills and vast plains gave way to an incredible display of hardy, resilient plant life, thriving in one of the most diverse desert ecosystems on the planet. The scenery was stunning, with bursts of color punctuating the rocky terrain, making every turn feel like a new discovery. It was truly mesmerizing. We made our quick pit stop in Springbok to pick up some supplies. We were really pressed for time, so I didn't capture any footage there, but with everything sorted, we soon reached what we thought was the Succulent entrance to Namaqua. Unfortunately, this was not the entrance to Namaqua National Park. This was a private road, and we were not able to pass. This is a big deal considering we still had to traverse a long off-road track through Namaqua to reach our campsite. This was all part of the adventure, and we turned around and made our way to find the correct entrance. Eventually we came across the correct road and we made our way to the Succulent rest camp to get our permits and take on the Caracal 4x4 trail to our campsite. We finally arrived at the Skulpot rest camp, where we collected our permits and aired down the tires, ready to take on the Caracal 4x4 trail. Namaqua National Park is truly a gem, located at the heart of the Succulent Karoo biome in the Northern Cape. Covering more than 1,300 square kilometers, or around 500 square miles, the park is a haven for biodiversity, known for its vast landscapes and unique plant life. It's famous for being the home of the richest bulb flora in any arid region on Earth. More than 1,000 of its estimated 3,500 plant species are endemic, meaning they're found nowhere else on the planet. While the park is best known for its spectacular flower season, which starts in early August and tapers off towards the end of September, Namaqua offers so much more than just wildflowers. It's a rugged, dramatic landscape of rolling hills, mountains and valleys, with wide open spaces that feel endless. During the flowering season, the arid plains explode into a sea of vibrant colors, drawing visitors from all over the world. Although we missed the peak bloom this time around, the views were still absolutely breathtaking. We were surrounded by an ever-changing tapestry of unique succulents and hardy plants, a testament to the resilience of nature in such a harsh environment. Even out of flower season, Namaqua National Park offers unparalleled beauty, and it was enough to make wife very happy. It's hard not to be moved by this raw and rugged wilderness. With the permits in hand, it was time to start our journey through the park, utilizing the Caracal 4x4 trail as we made our way towards our campsite, nestled right along the coast. Okay, we've just entered Namaqua National Park and we're doing the Caracal 4x4 Eco Trail. It's absolutely stunning. The terrain is, it's a great drive. The views were stunning. As you leave Skulpot, you go through a bit of a mountain valley, and that was really cool. We're a bit short on time. It is now 1 p.m. Yeah, we still have quite a bit to go, but we also need to make it back to camp in time. We don't want to set up in the wind at night. But we'll see how it goes. We're just gonna enjoy the drive and take in all the scenery. Scattered throughout the park, you'll find old ruins like this one. This particular house belonged to Andries and Honey Smith, who lived here until 1964. After they left, it was abandoned and gradually reclaimed by the harsh elements of the Karoo. The crumbling walls are a reminder of the tough lives people led in this remote, arid region, where survival depended on resilience. Today, these ruins stand as a silent witness to a bygone era, blending into the rugged landscape. We thought we started the Caracal trail on top there, but apparently we did not. We consulted the map again, and I think the park is just really big, so we thought we were way further than where we actually were. So I opened up Tracks for Africa, and obviously you can see exactly where you are there. And yeah, now we're on the Caracal trail, so this is gonna be epic. My one concern is we need to make it back to camp in time, and it's already 1:45. So we'll see how it goes. The trail just seemed to go on forever. We covered over 150 kilometers. That's more than 93 miles, making it the longest off-road stretch I've ever tackled in one go. While the terrain wasn't overly technical, meaning you were likely to manage with a 4x2, you definitely won't be attempting this in a Fiat Uno. The drive itself was absolutely incredible, with shifting terrain over all kinds of different landscapes, and we'll definitely be coming back. We actually had to skip a large portion of the northern section to save time, so there's definitely more to explore. We finally reached the moment I'd been waiting for, the first sign suggesting lower tire pressures, a sheer indication that we were about to hit some more challenging terrain with loose sand. I dropped the tire pressure to around 13 bar, which is around 19 psi. It didn't take long for us to hit our first sand section. This was my first time tackling this kind of terrain, and in hindsight, I may have overcompensated by driving a little bit too fast, but getting bogged down was not an option. Still, it was an exhilarating experience. The thrill of powering through the sand was incredible and got me even more excited for the other sandy sections waiting for us the next day. It was absolutely crazy. Me and wife were just giggling as we were going through there. And you really got to give it the beans to get through there. And wife is hanging out the window with the GoPro. It was great. The vehicle performed very well. I didn't feel like I have to go to 4 low. I just stayed in automatic, and I disabled my traction control completely. And tires are now at 1.3. And sure, I can go lower than that, but it made it. I didn't feel like I was getting bogged, I think. We finally made it to the Varswater campsite, arriving late in the day. Without wasting any time, we quickly set up camp. Even the gusty winds couldn't take away from the incredible experience of pitching our tent right by the ocean. After a long day, we cooked up some dinner and settled in for the night. It was so worth it, falling asleep to the soothing sounds of the waves crashing and the wind brushing against our tent. It was the perfect recipe for a great night's sleep. This was easily one of the best nights I've ever experienced camping in the wild. The atmosphere was just unbeatable. We packed up most our gear early, but left out what we needed for a slow, relaxed morning with some coffee and a good breakfast. Having everything organized in the tubs made it much easier. All we needed was the one tub with our kitchen items. The rest could be packed away. We decided to take it slow, savoring the moment, rather than rushing off to the next destination. Sure, it meant we'd arrive at night, but that didn't matter. We were in no hurry to leave this amazing place, and enjoying our time at Namaqua National Park felt like the right choice. The wind was making it tough to cook breakfast, and we had to get creative, improvising a bit to block out most of the gusts. It wasn't ideal, but we managed. I'll definitely need to look into some better solutions for handling windy conditions in the future. What day did you think it was? We just got camp packed up. Everything is in the car and ready to go. Now we're going to take a nice chilled walk on the beach and just take in some of the scenery. Because that's actually why we're doing this, but because of the time constraints we weren't able to do it as much, but now we are. Take a walk on the beach, take a few photos, enjoy the scenery, and be off to our next destination. It's so cool to just be able to jump in your car and experience something like this. All you need is your tent, you need a few things in the car. You need $250 for a camping site. And then you need the fuel, which is the real expensive thing. That's all you need. Jump in your car and you go to a place like this. Absolutely stunning. And this isn't even the highlight, I'd say. I think the highlight was more the journey getting here. We took on a I think it was around 200 kilometers, maybe a bit less actually. Dirt roads to get here. It wasn't too challenging, but it was way more off-road than Mukala, for example. But it was great. It was really a scenic drive, and took us to this beautiful destination. So we're just going to take it all in and enjoy it. Before hitting the road again, I filled up the tank with fuel from my jerry cans. A first for me. I made sure to keep everything clean and avoid any contaminations, which took a bit of extra care. After that, we were back on our way. This leg of the journey would take us over the Karoo Highlands and to our final campsite. The last stretch of Namaqua National Park was simply amazing, with a mix of challenging, sandy sections that put me and the vehicle to the test. Along the way, we were also treated to some stunning West Coast scenery, making it an unforgettable drive. The soft sand is not really a problem. There was a section, yesterday's section, that was really bad, but these soft sand sections are not too terrible at all. But yeah, I mean, with the tire pressures way down, and we can go even further down, it's real easy, and I have not had any problems. If I stopped on yesterday's section, I would have been stuck. But let's see how this section goes. Should be real easy. And just like that, we left Namaqua National Park behind. We made a quick stop to air up the tires. Now, if you can remember our Mukala trip, wife was the prime target for some bugs. The bugs are wild. They just attack humans out of the blue. This time, it was my turn. Every time we stopped, I was swarmed by what I can only assume were steekvlieg or horseflies. And yes, they bite. These guys were relentless, buzzing around and swarming me at every opportunity. It definitely kept me on my toes. Wife thought it was pretty funny. With the tires aired up, we continued to our next destination. My turn. We left Namaqua National Park probably around 50 kilometers that way. And we've been on a dirt road for quite some time, but it's awesome. This is an experience we've been waiting for. Lots of corrugations, but we've just been cruising along. We are now on our way to our little secret destination. So I'm expecting this road to take us another 20 or so kilometers, maybe 30, and then we should be on the highway to our last destination we will camp at. Along the way I might stop at a fuel station and potentially a butchery to get some more meat. But anyway, we're just gonna enjoy the ride and yeah, take it easy. This leg of the journey will cover around 620 kilometers. That's around 385 miles. And with our late start, we knew we'd be arriving after dark. That was fine though. We wanted to make the most of our time at Namaqua National Park. Next, we'll be taking on the Karoo Highlands route. Soon we reached Van Ryen's Pass, an incredible pass that takes you from 220 meters, that's 720 feet above sea level, to 813 meters or 2,670 feet in just 20 minutes. The views were stunning, with a flat landscape stretching out to the west and the mountains rising in the east. It also marked the border between the Western Cape and the Northern Cape provinces. What really surprised us though were the vibrant colors of the Karoo Highlands. Despite their rugged terrain, wildflowers were scattered everywhere, adding a splash of life to the landscape. It was truly unforgettable. As expected, we arrived after dark and wasted no time setting up camp. After a quick dinner, we called it a night, eager to rest up. Now, we're just waiting for the morning sun to reveal the incredible landscape we've been keeping a secret. Well, there you have it. Soutpoort. This is the campsite we chose for our last stay of the journey, and it's a cool landscape. I just think it's an interesting place to be, and that's why I left it a secret. It's a nice, unique place in the middle of nowhere, which I think is cool. Anyway, we're cooking up some breakfast. It's really windy. We got here late last night and it was extremely cold, but we managed to set up camp in record time and we were able to cook some food. We slept really well, and the drive up to this point, whereas it wasn't very long, the drive was still really cool because it was the first time I drove around at night on some interesting terrain. We're busy cooking up some breakfast and hopefully we'll have some time to look around and get some cool footage. But we're taking it way more easy this morning because we've learned a valuable lesson from this trip, and that is time management. So I think every trip we go over we are learning way more and building that experience, and this is really again going to change the way we do things, especially with the planning aspects of it and how we manage our time and how much time we allocate for each leg. So even though it might have been a bit of a fail on the time end, I still wouldn't swap this experience for anything else because we learned some valuable lessons, saw some amazing sights, drove across incredible landscapes, and tested out the vehicle in all kinds of situations. We packed up and decided to explore the area. Soutpoort is located near Loxton, on a karoo farm nestled between these rocky hills that look almost man-made. It's fascinating how these formations seem to rise out of nowhere in the middle of these flat plains. These hills were formed millions of years ago, and over time, weathering has stripped away the soil, leaving behind these remarkable stacks of stones. We set out on foot to fully immerse ourselves in the landscape and take in the details up close. There are 4 campsites in total. 2 of them have their own ablution facilities, complete with a toilet, basin, and shower with warm water. There are 2 wild camps, and we stayed at one of them. It's a fantastic place to visit, especially for those looking for a stopover between long-distance destinations. They even have splash pools where you can cool off during hot days. Plus, it's pet-friendly, just be sure to ask ahead of time. We made sure to take our time and soak in every moment at this final destination, but eventually it was time to hit the road back home. Along the way, we stumbled across a tortoise that wasn't in the best situation, so we carefully moved him to a safer spot behind the fence, away from traffic. This entire trip from Augrabies Falls to Namaqua National Park and finally to Soutpoort has been nothing short of amazing. We really enjoyed every moment of the journey, taking in the stunning landscapes and learning so much along the way. Each stop had its own unique beauty, and we'll definitely be fine-tuning the way we do things for future adventures. This was an unforgettable experience, and I can't wait for the next one. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll hope you join us on our next adventure.